Hi, and welcome to Cenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on something called family therapy. We're going to talk about how it can help you and your family break out of those frustrating, recurring arguments, start communicating in a new way, and really just get back to a better place together. You know that feeling, right? Where it feels like you're having the same argument over and over again, just with different details. It's this frustrating loop where a tiny little disagreement somehow blows up into a massive issue, and everyone just feels, well, stuck. And what's interesting is that these loops often get started by completely normal life events. I mean, things like clashing over parenting styles, or a teenager pushing for independence, or maybe the heavy strain of taking care of an aging parent. And that's not even counting the big stuff like addiction, mental health challenges, or external curveballs like losing a job. Suddenly, the old ways of coping just don't cut it anymore. But what if the problem isn't just one person? What if it's the pattern itself that's the issue? That's really the starting point for the solution. Shifting your perspective to see the family as this interconnected system where every part affects every other part. And this is exactly what family therapy is all about. At its core, it's a type of counseling that zooms out to look at the relationships and the dance of interaction happening within the family. The goal is never to fix one person, but to help everyone learn how to communicate better and solve problems as a team. And I gotta say, this is such a crucial point. Instead of playing the blame game and pointing fingers or labeling one person as the problem, family therapy looks at the whole ecosystem. It's built on the idea that a person's behavior is often just a reaction to the family environment they're in. Exactly. So it's less about blame and more about becoming a detective of your own family dynamics. You start to map out all those invisible forces, the unspoken rules, the roles everyone plays, the communication habits that dictate how you all interact. A therapist helps you see that so you can find new ways to connect. So let's make this real. Here's a classic conflict loop that is so hard to see when you're in the middle of it. Step 1, it all starts with a little spark, right? A minor disagreement. Then, step 2, escalation. Voices get louder, walls go up. This almost always leads to step 3, withdrawal. Someone just shuts down or storms out of the room. And the result? The issue is never actually solved, and that resentment just sits there, simmering, waiting for the next spark. Therapy is all about making this invisible loop visible so you can finally break it. So what really goes on inside a therapy session? It's not just a free-for-all of unstructured talking. No, therapists use very specific tools to make the whole process clear and, actually productive. For example, they might use family assessments or create what's called a genogram, which is kind of like a family tree, but for mapping out relationships and dynamics. A lot of sessions involve structured exercises, like literally practicing new ways to talk and listen, or maybe even role reversal tasks where you have to argue from someone else's point of view to really build that empathy. And the goals are super concrete. We're not talking about vague ideas like, let's just be happier. We're talking about practical changes. For example, clarifying roles and expectations so that chores and responsibilities feel fair, or learning how to actually say what you need without it turning into a fight. It's about building a shared toolkit, a step-by-step plan for when disagreements pop up in the future. Okay, so what's the payoff for all this hard work? Well, when families really commit to it, the benefits are huge. They go way deeper than just having better conversations. We're talking about real, measurable change in your day-to-day life at home. Families start to see these tangible improvements. Trust gets rebuilt, and boundaries become clear and respected. There's a lot less emotional volatility, fewer sudden blow-ups. Even day-to-day stuff, like who does what around the house, gets sorted out more fairly. You're not just stopping fights, you're actually building a more functional, collaborative team. But here's the real game changer. The ultimate goal isn't just about fixing today's problems. It's about building your family's ability to handle future problems before they spiral out of control. It's about learning to spot those early warning signs of conflict and having the skills to step in. It's a shift from being reactive to being proactive. And hey, this isn't just some feel-good theory. This approach is actually backed by a ton of research. For instance, a big 2019 study found that this kind of therapy led to a major drop in behavioral problems in kids, while at the same time improving how the entire family functioned as a unit. So yeah, it works.
So if any of this is starting to sound like it could really help your family, you're probably wondering, what's next? Let's talk about the path forward and what you should consider.
First things first, it's really effective when pretty much everyone is willing to show up and give it a try. But it's also really important to know when it might not be the right first step. In serious situations with active abuse, or if someone is in a severe mental health crisis, or there are major legal battles going on, other more specialized support is usually needed first to make sure everyone is safe. Now, finding the right therapist is absolutely key. So here's a quick checklist. 1. Check their credentials. Make sure they're licensed and have experience with your specific issues. 2. Ask about their approach. Do they think in terms of systems? 3. Nail down the logistics. Fees, insurance, virtual or in person. And finally, number 4, and maybe the most important, assess the fit. On that first call, do you feel like they actually hear you? Do you feel respected? That connection is everything. So let's leave you with this question. This isn't about achieving some picture-perfect family overnight. It's about making small, meaningful shifts. So just think about it. What if the very next tough conversation you have could feel just a little more productive, a little more connected, a little more hopeful? That's the real possibility this work opens.
Thank you for watching Cenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit Cenario.com. See you in the next one.